Butler Bulldog Bill here again for Rant video number 2. The first one you noticed was about the college football bowl season and how much I thought that sucked. So I thought I'd do another one here, see how this goes. Another thing that I think sucks, the NBA. So a lot of people know me as a huge basketball fan. You know, I love college basketball. I even follow a lot of high school basketball in the state of Indiana. And I'm a big sports fan in general. So one of the things that gets asked of me a lot, everybody knows I'm a Butler Bulldogs fan. They ask me, so Billy, who is your favorite NBA team? And I hate this question because then it just leads to me disappointing them, and I just think the NBA sucks. I got into it as a kid. You know, I didn't really know any better, but in the 90s you had Michael Jordan. They marketed him big time, so everybody liked Michael Jordan. Shaquille O'Neal was marketed big time. I loved watching Shaquille O'Neal. But as I've gotten older, as I've gotten wiser, and as the game of the NBA has evolved, you start to realize the NBA really sucks, and it keeps sucking worse and worse. I think the peak was in the 80s when you had the Lakers-Celtics rivalry, the Bird-Magic rivalry. In the 90s, it was still pretty good with Michael Jordan and the Bulls domination. And then after Michael Jordan, it's like the NBA's gone downhill, and especially now, it's at its worst. My brother-in-law is a big NBA fan, and over Christmas, he had the TV on watching, I think it was the Bulls and the Spurs. And my wife even noticed how bad the NBA is, how much it sucks. The NBA, and it seems like this in sports in general anymore, that the leagues think that the only way it can hold fans' interest is if there's no defense whatsoever, and that both teams score over 100 points, or in NFL or football in general now, it's like everybody has to have 600 yards offense and 40 points a game. So the NBA, it's all about scoring, you know, not just 100, but about 120 points. And you watch the games and you notice there's just not much defense. You get 24 second shot clock, so you don't get to really run any sets. It's basically somebody dribbles down, you maybe pass it once or twice, and then somebody shoots. And you know, sometimes they'll drive it, but a lot of guys shooting long two-pointers or shooting the 3-point shot. There's just not much flow on offense, and it's disturbing to watch, at least from my point of view. Like I said, the 24-second shot clock has a lot to do with that. Defensively, there's not much you can do. You can't play a zone defense because you can't have somebody sit in the lane trying to, you know, guard because they've got defensive 3 seconds, which I think is one of the most ridiculous rules ever. So they try to keep you from playing defense so that everybody can hit 120 points a game. And as somebody that's a college basketball fan or a high school basketball fan like me, I like the chess game, the strategy, and being able to play a zone defense, or to be able to have all these different types of defenses and seeing how the offenses react, trying to play all those types of defenses. In the NBA, like I said, there's just not any of that. The NBA has a problem with star players just dictating the games and the seasons. Star players seem to get special treatment from the referees. Sometimes all you have to do is breathe on a guy and you're going to get called for a foul even if you don't touch him. Star players seem to get away with 5-step travels all the time. Just a lot of things. Or they get away with fouls. I've seen times where LeBron James has absolutely hacked the crap out of somebody and they've never called it. Star players also dictate playoff series and the playoffs in general. When you think of the NBA, every single champion has had some star player, like a top 5 star player on there. And so if you're a fan of a team that doesn't have a star player or like a top 5, top 10 player, you pretty much know you don't have much of a chance. Not only do you not have a chance because you don't have a star player, but most of the teams that don't have star players are small market teams, Utah, New Orleans, places like that. And so the NBA, it feels like the referees kind of tend to favor the bigger market teams, and like I said, the bigger market teams are able to attract the star players. Playoff series in general, the postseason, the NBA has the playoff series, and it seems like the 1 seed or the 2 seed wins all the time. You don't really have any Cinderella stories like you do in college basketball, the way you have the one loss and you're done. You got a best-of-7 series for 4 rounds, and it just doesn't seem like there's that much excitement. I know that fans are really into it, and that's fine, but everybody can pretty much pick who's going to win it all every year, or who's going to go to the finals every year. It's, in baseball, football, and hockey, you can think about Cinderella stories even in all those sports at the professional levels. With the New York Giants a few years ago, were 9-7 on the regular season, ended up winning the Super Bowl against the Patriots. In the season that the Patriots went 16-0 in the regular season, the Giants were the Cinderella story that came and won the Super Bowl. The Green Bay Packers in 2010 as a 6th seed didn't play a single home playoff game, and they won the Super Bowl. Baseball, you've got teams like the San Francisco Giants who came out of the wild card game to win the World Series. Nobody expected that. Then you've got in hockey, the Los Angeles Kings a few years back were the 8th seed in the Western Conference, which is the lowest you can be, and they ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So you have all these different Cinderella stories or surprises in all these other sports. In the NBA, you don't have that. So the underdogs generally just don't have a chance, and it's always going to be the teams with, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Garnett, Stephen Curry, all these guys. Those are the teams that are going to be playing for the championship every year. And to go along with that, NBA is at its worst now because it's just like 3 or 4 or 5 teams at most that can win the championship, because it seems like all the star players are gravitating towards the same teams, and it just feels like the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer in the NBA. And so, not much variety in the NBA as far as what teams are going to make it to the finals. Whereas in the other sports, it's always, you get different teams all the time. The gameplay itself is just too fancy. I don't have a problem with people showing off with these awesome dunks or crossovers or all that other stuff, but sometimes I feel like the NBA players that's all they care about, and they forget the fundamentals, and it just looks sloppy. It just looks like bad basketball, and I can't get into that. If you like it, more power to you, but it's not basketball to me. I think that might be why I like Butler so much, is they're very about the fundamentals and playing defense and all that stuff, doing things the right way in my mind. And then I think the other final thing about why the NBA sucks is the season's so stinking long. I mean, it's 82 games. You got like a month for preseason. Then you've got like this, 6 to 7 month regular season, and then you've got the playoffs that seem to drag on forever, like a month and a half, 2 months long. So I think, the regular season starts at the end of October, and the playoffs end like early June, and then a week later you've got the draft, and and the season doesn't feel like it ever ends. So yeah, just a long season. When you're a college fan, you've got 5 months there. You've got from November through, the second Friday in November to the first Monday in April, and then it's over. And you got this long off season. You get time to relax and catch your breath and start all over again. The NBA, it's the exact opposite. It's just, the season's just so long, and you don't ever get a chance to catch your breath, and it's already starting up again. And I know Major League Baseball has a really long season, and NHL has a really long season as well, and NASCAR has a ungodly long season. But NBA, it feels like it's right there with being dragging on forever. So all of those reasons are why I think the NBA sucks, and in my mind, it doesn't compare to college basketball or even high school basketball. So if you agree, hit a like button. If you disagree, hit a dislike button, and we can talk about it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one.